Michael Trout here in Florida doing some permaculture at Foundup House, Florida. What's a Foundup House? A Foundup House is a house for launching Foundups, and this is a house that's going to go into our corporation in the future, and basically we're going to set it up as our first Foundup House. Now the opportunity is all these houses down here are eventually going to be for sale. There's a lot of houses in this area that are for sale, and the good news is they're really expensive. You can pick up one of these large houses for $100,000. That's it. This community is pretty much stagnant, and it's a beautiful community, as I'll show you in the future videos with everything. So what I'm thinking is we put aquaponics, hydroponics running around this, probably aquaponics, that's fish farms, running along the side here. We'll probably put, this room will be one of the grow rooms, with hydroponics grow systems in here because it's behind the veneer, and maybe even have some bumblebees or whatever, a little bumblebee house up in here, up in the corner. Come out here and over there, same thing. We'll do aquaponics, hydroponics, food, have a little bumblebee house up in there that they can roost every year and come in and come out. What I'm doing here is actually doing a kind of hugel bed that's dealing with water management. As you can see, I have lots of water coming in here. What I'm going to do is direct the water that's going to run alongside the bed on this side and actually on this side. And the walkway is actually going to be like a compost heap for leaves and everything else. So I'm going to fill this basically up with leaves. And just as it works with your drain, and let me show you here. If I go over here to a drain, let's go over here and I'll show you. This is cleaned out the drain. Now understand, there are no worms or anything. This is just breaking down because of water, right? Look at this. Now, if there was worms and other things in here, this is just natural breaking down because it's wet. Maybe last year's. There's nothing really eating on it. And it's actually really nice potential turning into soil if you have worms eating on this and stuff like this. So in reality, this stuff here will become this stuff here as long as it's wet. Now if you consider the amount of water, I've got tons of water that's basically comes off the roof there and comes out of this drain here, right? Comes out of this drain, boom, 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 and it's going to feed this area. This in the middle actually is going to be the bed, right? And basically down here it's going to be filled like a path. So when you come out of this linear, my dad calls it linear, you'll be able to walk straight down here on top of the cuttings and everything else. So we're going to fill this with basically cuttings and debris and other things on it, which is just going to absorb the water and fill it up. And if there's too much water, the exit is actually going to be, I'm going to keep cutting along here, it's going to go along here, it's going to work along this area here. So you can see the dip. You can see the dip where the water has basically been running, right? And manage it and work, basically work it around the house. On this side over here, the water eventually is actually going to flow into this compost heap. So I haven't decided yet how I'm going to run it, but maybe I'm either going to run it straight across or run it in a design pattern. Maybe have it do a kind of a swale back and forth. That's what I'm thinking. Because really there's nothing growing here. So if I can put in a swale, what I'm thinking about is putting in a swale here, a zigzag swale, right? That's going to bring the water and just bring it right into here. Then I'm going to, and then build a bed on top of it, right? Dig it down. Then ultimately I can get stuff growing here. All I need is good soil to get stuff growing. Lighting, I don't think is that much of a problem. A little to an extent, but you can manage with the types of plants and stuff. And the other thing too is I'm thinning out these trees and other things here, as you can see in the back here. And I'm going to be planting lots of loquat, which is biwa, and other things as they grow. you can see where I've gotten to. This is where I've gotten to. I've stopped like right here, and I'm actually digging a new compost heap. So this one now is pretty much done. That was my first one. Here's my second one. Here's going to be my third one right in here. And I had an animal or something come visit me. You can see them digging up the worms, or they were looking for something. They knew the worms were into here, I think. That's not me digging up in there. So design, design, design. I practice a kind of permaculture which is kind of like design as you go, and to do one small project at a time and ultimately allow that project and the design influence the next design. Because unless we know what's in the soil, unless we can control the water, unless we can move the water around, you know, we are limited with our design concept. So, you know, I practice a very in-the-moment permaculture. The design is important, but the design designs the design, if that makes any sense. So as you design, you will discover things, and then as you discover those things, they influence the next stage of the design. It's a design as you go way of applying permaculture, and you focus on achieving very specific projects one at a time without worrying about so much of your total design concept. That will come. It will come as you do the design. My name is Michael Trout here at Foundup House, Florida, doing some permaculture. If you like this video, I encourage you to become a stakeholder of Foundups. Go to Foundups.com, click join, and become a stakeholder for as little as $1 a month. Your contribution basically helps cover the cost, buying the plastic, buying the tools, and other things that, you know, sharing the knowledge, sharing these, you know, these videos are all ad-free. It helps cover the costs for me to go to conferences and other things to present. Foundups, it's a movement, it's a lifestyle for saving our planet together. The idea of Foundups is, instead of having a few people launching and owning ideas, we put the ideas in the collective and we all own it together, those that participate and fund. Foundups Corp is a C corporation, and I'm gifting as a warrant, as at this stage, penny shares, like to anyone who contributes. This equity is non-dilutable in the sense that if I issue more shares, right now we have 20 million shares. If I issue more shares, then your position increases by the number of shares. Now, in Foundup, shares cap at 10,000. No one, not even me, can own more than 10,000 shares when a Foundup becomes a publicly owned company. The other thing, too, is because of the SEC and other things, this is a warrant offering that only actualizes when we become a public company, when we do our IPO. So when our IPO happens, then my gift to you, I have the majority stake in Foundup, so I'm saying, listen, here's my shares. I'm gifting you to you. And most people are going to have at their $10,000 share cap. Anyone who's in now at $1, by the time we go public, is going to have 10,000 shares. And if they become $100 a share or $600 a share, then you'll probably be happy for that $1 investment a month. Now, the way that Foundups works is you got to keep yourself as a patron of either patreon.com or foundups.com once we move there in order to qualify for my gift. So basically you are supporting the vision of Foundups. The vision of Foundups is saving our planet together. And ultimately, in my opinion, without Foundups, we don't have much of a future. And imagine if we can transform houses like this into fully independent, sustainable, off the grid, that we can have basically, you know, anywhere between 6 to 10 guys, girls working on Foundups, transforming, you know, imagine what I'm doing with one person, imagine if it was 2, imagine 4, imagine 6, you know, then we can do a lot. We can put all solar panels on the roof, and we can, you know, we can have our own water coming from the water below us. You know, coming up with water, what are they called? Not humidifiers, but condensers to provide water for free out of the service. You know, growing our own food, growing our own fish, having our own chickens, all these different things, you know, ultimately can be provided and done in suburbia. And if we can do it here, then we can potentially transform this entire village into a Foundup village and have literally thousands of entrepreneurs coming here every year, spending a month here basically learning aquaponics, hydroponics, all these different things, and going off in their own countries, setting up their own Foundup houses, running their own Foundups, and ultimately that's going to be how we're going to change our planet. That's going to be how we're going to save our planet. One Foundup house at a time, that grows into Foundup villages, that brings people together, that launches a new selfless business model called the Foundup business model. Thanks. My name is Michael Trout, the visionary behind Foundups, the creator, and the instigator trying to bring it about. Thanks for watching.